I could tell you all about how this iconic Swedish story from the 70s became this Chaos Knight army, but let's just say, sometimes I get ideas. And then I have to make them happen. And perhaps I was already getting into the Christmas spirit, because when this post showed up in the Trench Crusade Facebook group, I immediately had two thoughts. One, that's amazing, please keep them coming, Tom. And two, I need to paint that like the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2. So how do you translate a concept like this to a color scheme for a miniature? Well, this is how I approach it. And if you want to see someone do it properly, you should just watch the Queen, Dana Howell, because she has done some brilliant videos about this. But the most important thing, I think, is to pick out the elements that are the most significant. Because when I say translation, I mean that in a more poetic way. You have to make your own interpretation. So I will focus on the hat in this case, because both the pigeon lady and the miniature have some really, really iconic hats. And also the coat, and I will try my best to capture those colors. So as you could see, I started just going through all of my green paints, and I tried to find the best kind of bluish green, and the one I wanted was unfortunately dead, so I went for one of my favorite dark greens and started painting. And here's a fun fact about me. I almost immediately felt that this was the wrong color, it was way too green, and it wasn't what I was going for at all. But of course I had to paint the whole thing anyway, so that I can really feel that things were going in the wrong direction. And then I found another bluish green, which was okay, it felt fine, and I went for that instead. The coat was way easier. I went for a nice burgundy, and I never looked back. To try to make this kind of a quick paint job, and because there's a lot of wood and leather parts, I then went for one of my favorite shortcuts to a nice looking wood and leather, the Wildwood contrast paint. Then it's just some recess shading and highlighting of pretty much everything before I go back to giving some more attention to the hat. I wanted to feel well worn and also to sell the idea that it is actually made of metal, even though it's bright bluish green. So I threw on some rust effects. Another important feature, perhaps the most important, is of course the pigeons. And the best hack for professional pigeon painting is color shift paints. This is the Psychotic Illusions from Green Stuff World, which makes the perfect shimmery feather effects, which looks just as magical as the real thing. And then, like a Christmas miracle, it began to snow. I really wanted the feeling of the figure walking through a snowstorm, so I made sure to put some snow all over and not just on the base. I gave it a few winter tufts to walk through, and the winter wonderland was complete. All that's left to do is just to paint the rim of the base the color of your soul, and remember to send your wish list to Satan before it's too late. Thank you for watching and for hanging out with us in our little trenchy corner of the internet. I know that Lakey has one more video ready to go for this year, and then we will crusade with you again in the year of our Metachrist 2025.